Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here again, and today I wanted to talk about the Getaway Artist exotic gauntlets for the Warlock in Destiny 2 Season of the Deep. My personal best all-around exotic for the Warlock in the game right now. They are absolutely tremendous. I would highly recommend trying them out in a build if you haven't done so already. And I actually have builds that I rock not only in PvE but PvP, in Grandmasters, Gambit, all that kind of stuff. You can use these gauntlets across every piece of type of content in the game, and they are tremendous this season. And a lot of it has to do with the artifact perks. But first, let's get into what makes these gauntlets so good. So you have the dynamic dual armor perk, convert your arc grenade into an arc soul, and become amplified. That second part is massive and essentially allows you in any kind of content, whether it is PvE or PvP, to have 100% uptime on being amplified. It is crazy to think about and really benefits from the artifact perks this season. The arc soul functions as an autonomous turret, so again, you don't even have to be very good in PvP to benefit from this and get assists, get kills consistently, just because you have this essentially turret with you at all times. It'll help you win gunfights, but it'll also be juiced up, especially because you're going to be rocking two of the aspects all the time with this. The rest of the build doesn't matter. You can mix and match whatever you want to do. But these aspects are absolutely vital. You're going to be rocking Arc Soul, cast your Rift to create an Arc Soul. You're going to want to do this after your original Arc Soul from your grenade consumption goes away. But you can kind of use it as you want. But while amplified, your Arc Souls are supercharged and gain increased rate of fire. This is going to work not only with the ones from your grenade consumption, but also from your Rift as well. So that is very, very nice and synergizes pretty nicely there. Then we also have Electrostatic Mine. This is going to allow you to collect ionic traces to make you amplified. You don't really need that as much, but defeating targets with arc abilities or defeating jolted or blinded targets creates an ionic trace. That's just going to allow you to have those ionic traces pretty consistently. Get your abilities back even faster, and yeah, it just synergizes really well. Again, the rest of the build, you can kind of mix and match whatever you want. I've tried it out with either super, I always typically run flashbang grenades because it has the lowest base cooldown. You can run any melee you want. Your arc fragments are not really all that important as far as what you want to run, although I do typically have on amplitude, haste, feedback, and discharge, but again, you can kind of swing that however you want. And the weapons is the same thing. I've been running a lot of arcs primary weapons for the most part. Centrifuge is very good, but you can run it with a trace rifle like Cold Heart. You can essentially run any arc special weapon that you want, any arc weapon that you want in the second slot, and it's going to benefit from the buffs that you get from the artifact perks this season. So what are they? First off, we have Amped Up. Stay amplified longer while your arc subclass is equipped. Obviously, that's going to be tremendous, and it's going to allow you to essentially have 100% uptime on amplification. Like I said, it is wild to think about that you have this ability to be amplified. As long as you don't die across any type of content, you're always going to be amplified, and all you have to do is consume your grenade. And with your low grenade based cooldown, with all of the ionic traces you're generating, you're essentially going to be able to pop that pretty consistently. You also have Thunderous Retort, grants bonus arc super damage if cast while critically wounded or while amplified, lasts until the end of super duration. So again, you can use this for either of the supers. It doesn't matter, and you're going to be amplified pretty much all the time when you're casting it to get that increased arc super damage. We've also got Electric Armor. This is one of the major benefits across all types of different content, and that is gain damage resistance while amplified. Well, you're amplified all the time. That means you're always going to have damage resistance, which is really nice because Arc doesn't have a way to heal itself in the same way that other classes do, like Solar or like Devour on Void. So it does benefit from this greatly because taking less damage means you don't really have to heal as much. And then finally, we're going to have something like Shock and Awe. Arc Final Blows while you are amplified summons a burst of lightning damage and lightning that damages and jolts targets. So you're always going to be amplified. You're going to use an arc weapon, which counts for Shock and Awe, to summon the burst of lightning that damages and jolts targets. You'll see me use this at times. I tend to use something like either in PvP, especially something like Symmetry or Centrifuge, to get kills, and it almost creates almost a mini Thunderlord slash Cloud Strike effect that's going to drop that lightning on your enemies, and it's absolutely hilarious. I was getting kills with this just with the lightning strike instead of having to get kills with my weapon, and it was very fun to use. And again, because you're always amplified, you're going to be doing this constantly, and so that is going to allow you to, no matter what type of content you are running, have these juiced up ad clearing weapons that aren't typically used for that purpose. Centrifuge is good, but when you combine it with the shock and awe, now all of a sudden you're clearing waves of enemies really quickly. When you have enemies in Iron Banner who are holding hands, you're able to clear them very quickly, clear out areas, and just continue moving throughout your day. Plus, you're going to have your turret all the time. You're also going to be amplified, so you're going to be moving faster. You're going to have the damage resist. It is crazy how this all functions together. And so there are other ways to make builds like this. You can obviously run something like your other arc exotics as well that are going to allow you to have high uptime on being amplified, but maybe not 100% like the Getaway Artist allows you to. Like Fallen Sunstar is very, very good, and it will allow you to be amplified pretty consistently, so you can kind of mix and match. I just like the guarantee. I don't even have to get a kill first to become amplified. That's the difference, and that's what I really like. You can start off the fights in PvP with an arc turret being amplified and having that damage resistance, and it just makes such a massive difference when you are engaging with those initial fights. Is it going to be the best build across Trials? Maybe not. Can it be used in Trials, Iron Banner, and all of that? Yes, absolutely. Is it going to be effective across every type of PvE? I was using it in Legend and Master Lost Sectors. I used it to get my new exotic helmet, the Cenotaph Mask, and then you can use it in Grandmasters. I've done that. It is very effective. You can use it in any type. You can use it in raids, which I've done. So no matter what type of content you are playing, the Getaway Artist is one of the few exotics that you can use no matter what situation you find yourself in. And for me, that's very valuable because I do very much enjoy having versatility of builds. Like I can swap out my weapons, but if I just want to hop on and play for a little bit and not really have to think about it, I can have this build ready to go, saved in one of my loadouts. Not even the build, just the exotic armor, and then mix and match whatever exotic weapons I want to try, and it just works out tremendously. I very much enjoy it, and I would highly recommend trying it out if you haven't this season. I know a lot of people are focused on other builds and exotics and all that kind of stuff, but come back to the Getaway Artists, try them out, love them as I love them. I'm a big fan of like companion builds in other games, and I'm glad that we have these options in Destiny 2 as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, helps me out tremendously, shows you want to see more Destiny 2 content from me going forward. I'm going to be talking about a lot of exotics, whether they are weapons or armor, and the ones that are underrated especially and underutilized, so definitely stay tuned for that. I have a Symmetry video that I'm working on as well, so that weapon has been very fun, especially with this build specifically. So anyway, my name is JoPa. I hope you have a good one. I'll catch you all later.